Could Azula become a waterbender? And if she could, how strong would she be? Azula is without a doubt one of the most talented firebenders we've seen on screen. When it comes to skills, power, and just overall potential, she has it in the bag. But given that firebending and waterbending are solar opposites, will the Azula we know and love be able to properly master the element of water? According to the Avatar wiki, water is the element of change. And if you ask me, Azula changed pretty fast from calm and collected to straight up insane. But the most important component when it comes to bending an element is the fighting style.
You've got to be like a rock yourself. Shift your way through the steps.
All elements use a distinct fighting style, and waterbending was inspired by Tai Chi because of its adaptability, connectivity, and fluid movements, using their bodies to shift through the different stances, creating different attacks. Its defense maneuver seems to focus on controlling the flow of the opponent's own strength and using it against them. Looking back at some of Azula's fight scenes, she doesn't fight with raw power like some people do. This fight in particular, when she faces off against Zuko, she demonstrates being fluid, not using her bending abilities, while still clowning on Prince Zuko. Not to mention, lightning bending, a technique she was able to master, requires the user to have a clear mind, also requires the user to make very fluid movements. Heck, lightning bending is literally changing the positive and negative energy so it can create electricity. Some notable skills we've seen Azula perform as a firebender that I think would be somewhat transferable is using the flames to increase her speed. If she was a waterbender, she would easily master the ability I like to call riding the wave. I'm not sure if that's what the technique is called. She would be able to make water constructs. And Zuko did make fire whips, and I'd say Azula is more skilled than him, so she'd be able to do that water tentacle move Aang and Katara did, ice bending as well. If skill was the only factor to consider, we would be rolling the credit. The Water Tribe's culture mainly used men as warriors, and women would tend to the kids, and Azula is a fire princess. So if you were to flip the coin, she'd be a princess in the Northern Water Tribe. And since the Northern Water Tribe, or just the Water Tribe in general, is very traditional, hence Sokka's misogynistic mindset.
Knew I should have left you home. Leave it to a girl to screw things up.
They don't believe female waterbenders should learn how to fight, only learn the art of healing, and to make matters worse, she would be a princess, so they'd probably lock her up and throw away the key. I mean, not literally of course. Being a princess in the Water Tribe would have three possible outcomes. Outcome 1, after discovering her ability to waterbend, they would develop her healing skills. Given that she's such a talented bender, she would have the ability to heal wounds that regular healers couldn't. Yeah, I can definitely imagine people traveling far and wide to be touched by Princess Azula, already boosting her massive ego. The second outcome would be to hide her abilities and force her not to use her powers. This seems more feasible since the Fire Nation would be colonizing the Four Nations, so hiding a powerful bender plus the chief of the Water Tribe's precious daughter would be in the best interest of everyone. The third outcome, however, is where things get interesting. After discovering Azula's talent, they keep it a secret, only allowing a select few to know about the princess's ability, therefore secretly training her to master waterbending and to master every other sub-technique associated with the bending art. And given her ruthless demeanor paired with her IQ, she would very well discover bloodbending all on her own. Think about it, Hama is way less talented than Azula is. Not to mention, Azula would have the best of the best available to her, so she could fully master the technique. Even if she wasn't able to bloodbend, I think she'd find a way to use waterbending lethally, especially since she'd be training to become a secret weapon. Upon discovering the Avatar's existence, I believe she would become Aang's waterbending teacher and join Team Avatar. With their combined forces along with the rest of the gang, they wouldn't even need pants to defeat the Fire Lord.
When you're not even wearing pants.
Of course, there's another possibility as well that I've been avoiding because it's kinda generic, but Yue is a princess, Azula is a princess. So if you kind of freakified the situation, Azula would just experience the exact same thing Yue did, getting life energy from the moon spirit. We all know how that story goes, but for someone as unique and interesting as Azula, that story wouldn't work. But what if growing up in the Water Tribe changed her personality completely? She wouldn't be the cold-blooded and harsh Azula we know. Let me know what you guys think below. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video and watch this video here.